my friends. In this video, we're going to be DIY crafting some beautiful, simple Christmas decor items that I think will make perfect gifts, or if you want to make a little extra money this holiday season, you could sell them and they'd sell quite well. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, for this DIY, you're just going to need a few items. And some of them are extra items, so you don't even really need them. But the main things that you will need are Mod Podge. You're going to need your ornament. I'm going to be using this one from the Dollar Tree. It's one of their large plastic ornaments. You'll need some book pages. Now this is from an old book that, well actually it's not an old book, it's a new book, but it was from the Dollar Tree and it just kind of fell apart. So I'm going to be using those book pages. So I also got some of these little sponge dabbers from the Dollar Tree. And then I just have some glitter and some glitter ribbon, which we'll see how those come into play later. I might use them, might not, but I have them at least. And you'll need some scissors. So first, we're going to start by setting our stuff aside, and we're going to cut up our book pages. Now, you can cut these strips, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to try a little different approach this time because I've done the strips, and for me, that just didn't work on a round ornament. So I'm going to try doing just like cut up pieces of my book page. So let's go ahead and just get to cutting up our book page. All right, so now we have some of our book pages cut up into little pieces. We're going to start by taking off our little metal cap, and we're going to set that aside because we're going to do something with that a little later here. And all we're going to do is just add the Mod Podge. This is my plan anyway. Is to add the Mod Podge and then just put the book pages on. So we'll see. Like they might even need to be smaller than that, but so they'll bend around. I don't know, but we're going to try it. So let's go ahead and get to gluing. I'm just going to load up my spouncer and start here at the top. I don't know, should you start at the top, at the bottom? Does anybody know? Has anybody done these before? I've never done the book ones, but I wanted to do it, and I thought, why not do it with you guys? So, oh, look at that. Yeah, that's really laying on there nicely. So, let's keep going. The spouncer might be the trick, huh? Let's see. We'll see. Let's not count our chickens, all right? We're still new into this project, so. Now, let's see. I think you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to then add over it so it sticks. I don't know. I never have had luck with these projects, but we'll see. Maybe the peeling up the paper, the edges, will make it more rustic looking and more authentic too. You never know, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get this on, and then we'll see where we're at with this. And yeah, I think that the just adding the Mod Podge as you go, I think that might be the ticket. And I don't mind that it has the little wrinkles in it. Do you see those little wrinkles? I don't mind that because that kind of adds character to the ornament and makes it more, you know, beautiful in my opinion. All right, so now we have all of our torn book pages, cut up book pages on there. And I love how the book pages kind of are peeled up a little bit. I kind of like that look because I think when it dries, it's going to be so beautiful. Now, if you are printing out a book page, you want to make sure you don't go back and forth over and over that page because it will run the ink on the actual printed page. But now what we're going to do is we're just going to let this dry. Actually, yeah, I think I'll let it dry and we'll see where we're at with it. And then I might want to add some glitter to the outside, maybe some iridescent glitter. I don't know. So let's go ahead and just let that dry and see how it dries, because I think that it's going to dry perfectly without the glitter, in my opinion. So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to clean up this, and then we're going to continue on with our cap, because we're going to do something super cute with that. So let me get this cleaned up, and then we'll continue on. All right, and then once we have our ornament book pages glued onto our Mod Podge onto our ornament, once it gets dry to the touch where you can touch it, but you can tell that the Mod Podge isn't dried completely yet, what you can do is just take and press down those edges of the book pages that kind of popped up a little bit. But I also like leaving some of them kind of rustic. I don't know if you can see that, but I think it looks so beautiful. Now we're just going to put our cap back on. And I think it looks so cute so far. What do you guys think? But since I didn't put the paper up onto my stem, I think what I'm gonna do is maybe wrap it with some twine just to kind of disguise that a little bit. So I'm gonna take some of this twine and we're just gonna wrap it around the base like that. But first, let's take our lid off again. And then we're gonna take and just wrap the twine with some hot glue around it, and then we'll put our cap back on. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now we have that stuck down. That looks so much better. Then we're gonna add our, you can also do this with ribbon too, but now we're just gonna add our cap back. All right, and I think that finished that off perfectly. What do you guys think? So now we need to add a few little details. And for that, we need a hanger, and I'm gonna put a little bow on mine with some bells. So, and to keep it kind of Dollar Tree friendly, I'm going to be using some of their red velvet ribbon. So we're going to start by adding our hanger. And I think this would be the perfect gift for a book lover in your life. Perfect, I think. And then, actually, I think what I'm going to do is, should I make a little ribbon or a big bow? I think I'm going to make a big bow. So let me grab my big velvet ribbon. Okay, I grabbed my large red velvet ribbon, and I purchased this at Hobby Lobby. Yes, I think that's going to be so beautiful. And then we'll just make a simple bow. Okay, so now we have our simple red bow made, and we are going to glue it to our ornament. And I'm going to glue mine right there. Okay, so now we have our bow on there, and we are just going to trim it up. And I'm going to give mine some dovetail ends here, like that. So pretty. Okay, so now we have that done, and I think it needs something right here, if I'm being honest. What do you guys think? So I think I'm going to take, I have a little leftover sprig of this greenery, and I think it will be perfect right there. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of that in there. And then for the finishing touch, I'm just going to add one of these jingle bells that I have on hand. Now I purchased these, I think it was last year at Hobby Lobby, but you know, I didn't see them this year, which kind of bummed me out because they're so good. But they do have other little bells, so maybe that's why they didn't carry them this year. But, and then I'm just going to add it right to the center here. Right to the center. Oh yes, that is so pretty. wouldn't want this for a gift? Who wouldn't want this for a gift? Seriously. I think it is so cute. What do you guys think? And you could even make like bells dangling down, or maybe like a tag with someone's name on it. I think that would be pretty too. And I love how it looks so like antique. And you know what you could do too? If you wanted to make it even more antique and distressed, you could take some stain and just lightly brush over the Mod Podge, and that would give it a beautiful antique look. All right, now we're moving on to our next DIY. Now for this DIY, we're going to be using those bead wreaths that we purchased from Hobby Lobby. We're also going to be using that bell garland from Hobby Lobby. And then I have just some regular twine that I also purchased at Hobby Lobby. So this is a complete Hobby Lobby DIY. Anyway, it's going to be very simple, and I just love the simple DIYs too. Not everything has to be completely difficult. So we're going to take out one of our bead wreaths, and then we're going to dismantle our bell garland. And we're just going to do that by cutting off one of the bells. Now you have this little bell, which actually, if you keep that in mind when you're looking at these garlands, look at them like you can cut them apart and use them in pieces. That's a good trick that I like to use. Now we're going to take and put our bell into our bead wreath. And to do that, I think instead of using more stuff, I think what I'll do, I don't know, maybe I will keep that on, and I'll just tie on some more twine because I want it kind of hanging down a little. So let's do that. Let's just take another piece of twine, cut it, we'll put it through our bell, and then I'm going to tie mine up tight against my bell so it stays snug and it gives it a little more detail. And then you could actually, which probably would be a good idea, is to add some add some beads onto your bell. That would probably be very pretty. But we're not going to do that this time. We're just going to take and loop our bell. First I'm going to tie this in a knot as well. And then we're going to take and loop our bell around like this one was done. Make sure to leave yourself enough room to get it in there. And then you'll just pull it down snug like that. And then we have this cute little bell in the center of our ornament. How cute is that? And we'll trim off our excess here. And I love this so much so far. It's so cute. All right, so we're gonna lay that down. Next, we're gonna add a bow. Now you could use like some of this velvet ribbon. You can use any ribbon you like, but what I think I'm gonna do, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a bow of this, and I'm just gonna double, triple mine over, and then I'm going to tie it in a bow. Just a simple bow. That way we have a big full bow with such small twine. Perfect. And then we have this cute little bow, which I need to trim that fuzzies off. Okay. So now we have our bow. We're going to just trim it. Trim it, trim it, trim it. And then we're just going to glue it right at the top of our bell string. So let's do that. Whoa, I got a little bit too much hot glue. Woohoo! Got carried away with the hot glue. Okay, so now, which side do I want it on? I think I want it on this side. Yes, this side. Then we're just going to glue it to our strings. That way our bell will still flow in the center. And then, as easy as that, you have a unique handmade ornament. So now we're moving on to our next DIY. Now for this DIY, we're going to be using those round ornaments that we purchased the other day from Hobby Lobby. We're also going to be using some of these little snowflake cutouts, also from Hobby Lobby. And we're going to start by staining our ornament. We'll take our ornament out. We'll set those aside, set these aside. And I'm going to be staining mine with this gel stain from Hobby Lobby, and it's in the oak. Okay, now that we have that stained, we're going to set it aside here. And we're going to take out one of our snowflakes. And what we're going to do with this is we are going to paint it white. Okay, now we have our ornament stained on both sides and it's dried. And we have our white snowflake. So for this next process of our DIY, we are going to take and glue our snowflake to the center of our ornament. And that's, you have to be very delicate with this because it's very tiny. Then we'll just take and we're going to just glue it in the center of our ornament. Like that. That looks pretty centered to me. Then we're just going to press that in. And next what we're going to do is we're going to take a paint pen, or you could use vinyl lettering, whatever you wanted to do, but I wanted to keep it DIY friendly for everybody. So we're going to take and write a J over here and a Y on the other side of our snowflake. So now I'm a little nervous because I think I should maybe pencil it out first because I don't want to get too crazy with my letters, because I want to keep them level with my snowflake. So let's just do our J. If my pencil will work here. Yep. And then we're going to just make a J and then our Y. Okay. And then we'll take our paint pen and go over our letters. All right, and I'm going to let mine dry a little bit, the first coat, and then give them a second coat. But look at how cute that little ornament is. While that's drying, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this white on top because I think that's going to really make the ornament pop. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now we have our makeup sponge. I'm just going to dab lightly into the paint, and then we're just going to lightly tap it at the top there. Yes, that looks so pretty. So we're going to do that. We're going to make it white-ish with a little bit of stain underneath it. That looks perfect. And then I think my letters are dry enough to go over again. It seems like the letters need a little something more fancy. Maybe they need to be fatter a little bit. Let's see if we can make them fatter without ruining everything. Now we have what looks like this, and I think it is so cute. But I think I'm going to add a little bow here and then our hanger. So let me go ahead and get the ribbon because I think I'm going to keep this in a blue and white and stained theme. So let me grab my velvet ribbon. So I'm going to be using some of this ribbon for the hanger and the bow. But you know what I think this needs? I think it needs some tiny little snowflakes. So let's go ahead and do that and see if we like it. Hopefully we will. And I'm just going to do like it's snowing, little dots of snow. Okay, yes, that looks so beautiful. What do you guys think? So far, so good. I'm loving it. Okay, and now I have this blue ribbon, and I purchased this, I think this was at Michael's, the Celebrate It line. Is that Michael's? I think so. And I think I got it on their Christmas clearance from last year. I think I got it actually in January. My mother and I were shopping around my birthday, and I think that's when I got this actually. And it was yeah. So now we're going to just take and tie our hanger. All right, now we're going to trim this off, make it nice and clean. And yeah, look at how cute it is already. What do you guys think? Would you stop there? Would you add a bow? Let's see if a bow will look good. I'm going to make a simple bow and we'll hold it up and see if it looks good. Now we have our little bow made. And I think I am going to attach it because I think it would be so cute. Should I do it up on the ornament part, or should I do it down here? Or maybe even down at the bottom? I think I'm going to do it right there underneath the ornament topper. So let's do that. Oh, I love it. Don't you love how that turned out? I think it's so pretty.